Oh, Ebola is deadly and extremely fatal. It spreads through the thousands died from Ebola. 10 through 29, 2014. 4,951 people died in West Africa. 2,413 people in Liberia. 1,510 in Syria. 1,018 in Guinea. Ebola is deadly and extremely fatal. It spreads through body fluids. It takes 21 days to go through its cycle. My plan is to talk about the USFG, Border Patrol, and CDC. We'll inspect border, providing medical assistance and quality and tend to infected people coming into the U.S. Solvency. Plan will work because we will remove any people who have Ebola into quarantine zone. Now it's your turn.
Go.
What
Okay, go ahead.
what happens to the civil rights of the people that are in quarantine? Do you hear me?
Yes, there.
We hear you loud and clear.
Yes.
Just.
Yes, you have civil rights.
Have civil rights if you're dead.
She just asked that.
One person at a time.
So in other words, you don't really care about the civil rights, correct?
They have to be alive. They have to be alive.
You have to be alive to have civil rights.
In other words, you're going to take the civil rights of people.
But they're dead. You have to be alive to have civil rights. They're going to be dead. Can you hear me?
How many people have died in the United States with Ebola?
We're not talking about United States.
3 people.
No.
One people.
One.
I mean, only one person. He wasn't from the United States, correct?
No.
Was from the United States.
From the United States, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
I want to see everybody in the back.
In other words, you're making a big plan for nobody, right?
People coming.
We're doing it for
People coming
coming
into the U.S. So we can quarantine them. And
Answer that?
can you repeat that?
It's because the plan is to stop it before it comes to the U.S. That's why we're trying to do this. It's not for the people that are here. It's
But you
basically
stop something that doesn't exist.
Go stand in the front.
Ebola exists.
Ebola exists.
That you're saying does not exist.
Correct.
Correct?
No.
No.
Look at the
And
stats.
1,951 people have died.
People are
And West
dying from
Africa.
this. That's why we're trying to stop it from coming over
So
here.
you're saying you're gonna make a case for one person that doesn't exist in the U.S.
case for many people.
that are coming into the U.S. It's not just for the people that are in here right now. It's like for people that are coming in.
So only one person has died and everybody else has been cured, correct?
Everybody else is infected.
No,
No.
Everybody else is
It's
infected.
for the border, not.
it's not just
I mean,
for like our protection so that we don't get it.
I'm watching that.
Hey, all the people talking about the watermelons.
one person who's died in the United States, correct?
Yeah, and we're not trying to make it more than that. That's why.
Many people have died from being hit by lightning.
No.
This is
We're not
irrelevant.
We're talking about
This is
Ebola.
irrelevant.
It's not
14 last year.
This is not talking about
Topic.
We're talking about Ebola.
To develop a plan for people getting hit by lightning.
The point of this is that we are trying to be protected. Like we're trying to help the U.S. from getting.
Words, being hit by lightning is a 14 times greater chance than dying from Ebola in the United
Being
States.
hit.
That's untopical.
That's cheating.
Hey, if you're gonna talk, then I'll talk. We spend trillions of dollars on terrorism every year to prevent the war on terrorism, and yet more people get killed from bee stings than we do Osama bin Laden in America. I mean, we can talk numbers all day long, but what we're trying to do is stop the spread of Ebola going into the United States.
Oh, you're going to try to stop a problem that doesn't exist, correct?
Ask the 10,000 people who've died in Africa if Ebola exists. Oh, wait a second.
How can we ask people who are dead?
Exactly. That means the problem exists.
They live where?
In Africa.
I'm sorry. Are you saying that we shouldn't have to worry about Africa? We don't have to worry about Africans? Is that what you're trying to say?
Over the civil rights.
What you're saying, we're trying to worry about the U.S., not Africa.
Yes, but we're trying to say
So-
that Ebola is a threat, which you said Ebola wasn't a threat.
So you did agree with me, correct?
Okay, you agreed with us. Correct?
You agree with our plan?
Spending money like this would be like wasting money in the war. Tariffs.
Ada, come on, help me out here.
So what you're saying is that how much money are you worth if you get Ebola?
Would you want to spend money on yourself
We're
to
on
stop
mute.
it?
No, they are muted.
Oh,
Cheaters.
cheat.
Because we think about the answer.
But can they hear me or no?
Yeah.
Sorry, can you repeat that question again?
So you said that we waste millions on like war. So like how much are you worth?
How much are you?
How much money would you be worth?
How much what?
How much money would you be worth if you had Ebola?
How much money would you spend on yourself if you found out that you had Ebola?
About government money, not our money. Correct?
Yeah, but what you're trying to say that we shouldn't spend the government money. So basically the money that's coming out is from your pocket, not from them.
On the contrary, it's a totally different thing.
On the contrary, it's a totally different thing.
How is it different?
Do you agree with me?
Since you haven't decided for the land, I assume you have a good. All right. I got it.
How are we supposed to stop something if the government in Africa can't even stop?
We're trying to prevent him from coming into the United States, not to stop it. Hey, I got this.
It's already comes in to the U.S., but we're still trying to cure. But we've already cured most of the people with Ebola.
That is not true.
That's not true.
Oh.
I'm sorry. Let me take my answer.
Yeah. Since you haven't attacked our plan, I assume you agree we saw. They're on mute. Oh my god.
Oh.
People.
I know, I don't care. Oh, sorry.
It doesn't have anything to do with this conversation.
I got
You're on mute. Oh.
I know it's right there.
Oh, man.
I got something to say.
Is there anything else that you'd like to say?
So yeah, you haven't said anything about our plan. You haven't agreed or disagreed yet. So you must be agreeing with it.
Yes. Okay. You're making a plan over nothing because the situation is not in the US, it's in another country. Correct?
I'll
Right.
say it right. Okay. You do know that we're doing this not for it's not yet inside here. That's why we're trying to stop it. That's why we're doing it in the borders, not in the US.
So what you're saying is you're gonna stop a problem that doesn't exist.
But we're trying to stop from Ebola from getting here.
I'm hungry and I want to sleep.
So do you want Ebola to come to the United States?
Where have we heard that before?
Look, but we're trying to say that we're trying to stop a problem that might exist. How you're saying that it doesn't. It might happen if we don't do something right now.
Did my ears deceive me? Because you said it might exist.
No.
No, it was garbled transmission. What he's trying to say is the problem does exist. We both agree that people have died. You even said that people who died in this country from Ebola, more people are coming into the U.S. who have it, and the U.S. is the only country in the world right now who's doing nothing to stop the spread of Ebola.
But people die most of the time for thousands. A lot of people die all the time for diseases. You can't make a law for that.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, we do things like when there's a Spanish flu coming around, killing thousands upon thousands upon thousands and millions of people. We take people to the border and we stop it. We stop the spread of it. Right now, we have not done that with Ebola, and there's more and more people doing that. If it's not a big deal, then how come all the other countries are doing it too?
Are you saying that Ebola is coming across the border?
I'm saying people who have Ebola come into the United States. And if you don't believe me, then how can we have a corpse dead from Ebola? Then we have nurses who also got Ebola helping out that person, and it's spreading. So how is it not coming into the United States?
They need water for that burn.
You're trying to say that we're trying to prove something that doesn't exist.
How are you gonna say it doesn't exist? Over 10,000 people have.
And people are still infected. Look.
You don't get it. It doesn't exist in the U.S.
But when it gets here, you're gonna be wanting us to stop the borders.
So yeah, look, how do you call it? So
When it gets here.
So it doesn't.
So it isn't here then, right? Because you said when, correct? You didn't say it is here. You said when. Correct?
nurses have it right now, right?
You are saying that it doesn't exist. One person has died in the U.S. of Ebola.
And
So
there's
I mean, it
people
does
right now
exist.
with Ebola. And nurses. The nurses are infected with Ebola right now. So you're telling me they don't exist?
The weapons of mass destruction when George Bush went to Iraq.
That's unrelevant. That's on top of irrelevant.
You guys are talking about Africa. Irrelevant.
You guys are talking about Africa.
That's irrelevant.
That's irrelevant.
You're talking about the United States, not Africa, so that's pretty much irrelevant. What you're saying. So.
Mad like that. You can't get mad like that, Alicia.
You want to look for something that doesn't exist.
We're trying to prevent it from coming into America more than it already
Like I said, when it gets here, it is obviously not here.
It's already here.
How many people have died from Ebola?
We have one question about that, just one. Okay. Are you saying that Ebola is not in the U.S. right now? Is that what you're saying?
All the people that had Ebola are Ebola free.
Okay, but that's not my question. My question is, are you saying there is no example
Well, that's my answer.
of Ebola? Are you saying there have been no examples of anybody with Ebola coming into the United States? Is that what you're saying? We don't have it on mute. So I'm assuming you have to agree with the proven fact that Ebola has been.
No, don't assume anything.
I'm not asking you to assume anything. I'm asking you to agree to the fact that there have been reported
Agreed to your facts.
and deaths in the United States.
Mm-mm.
I'll tell you about it.
Can we stay on topic here? I think we can put each other on mute. We're on mute.
So, wait. Wait, so basically you're left with an unworkable plan, right? Right? You're left with an unworkable plan.
Can you repeat that again?
So basically you're left with an unworkable plan. Correct.
Give us a moment.
Okay.
Say what you said again.
So basically you're left with an unworkable plan, correct?
Over a non-existent.
Over a non-existent problem.
All right. Once again, I come back to the main question. The main question is, has there been a reported case of death and multiple reported cases of Ebola infection inside the United States? The answer is yes. Is the United States
doing anything.
As there was reports of massive destruction in Iraq. Weapons of massive destruction in Iraq.
I tell you what. I will concede your Iraq point as irrelevant. If you will also concede the point that Ebola is.
I will concede your point as irrelevant.
Would you agree?
No, sorry, I will never agree.
Then that's fine. Then there's no debate then. And you lose on lack of educational value.
You're debating with yourself. Don't shut me up.
Okay.
Alright.
Hey, they're trying to just spook you now. You debate within yourself because
Wait, they're on mute, right? Can you hear me?
yes.
Okay, you're not offering a solution to a real problem. You're offering a solution to a phony problem.
That's it.
How many phony problems have we had? Let me guess. 5,000 people phony died in West Africa. 2,500 people phony died in Liberia. 1,500 phony people died in Sierra Leone. 1,000 phony died in Guinea. And 3 of those people came to the United States, and they must have faked their death too.
So you're saying we should stop people
faked their
from leaving those countries?
Those people have come to the United States. Apparently, they faked their own death. That's what you're asking us to believe. That Ebola is not a problem. That if you get it, it's like the flu.
They would not come to the United States if they can't leave their country. Correct?
They can leave their country.
So,
They can. It's the only country that lets people from Africa come into the border.
So in other words, we should stop having them leave their country. Correct?
We cannot do that. You do know that you've been.
But that would solve the problem. Correct?
We're not trying to stop people from coming into the border. We're just trying to stop the spread of Ebola.
Why should we quarantine us when we should quarantine them?
That is what we're doing.
Kenzie, go ahead.
We're not quarantining the people in like America. We're preventing the people from Ebola if they test positive at the border from coming into America.
You just quoted all of these people in Africa having Ebola.
Because those are the people that are coming in. That's why we're trying to like help them out.
Wouldn't be coming in if they listened to our plan.
Let's hear your plan.
Let's hear your plan.
You don't have no plan. We want to hear your plan. Yeah, we have the paper. Oh, we're on mute right now.
We'll get back to you in a minute.
We'll throw it back.
Why should we suffer through the loss of civil rights when we should make them suffer?
Is this the first part of your plan?
We're waiting.
Where the people infected.
Wait, hey, can you like break that
Our plan
down?
is to substitute back to quarantine other countries.
Yeah, we're gonna take your plan and substitute the fact that we don't need to quarantine here, we need to quarantine over in Africa, the countries ahead.
Okay.
Okay, so you're running a pick, in other words.
As our plan here is to not quarantine here. We're gonna take your plan and substitute it, and to not quarantine here, to quarantine over there in another country. That's all started. Don't you agree?
No, we do not agree because we don't have no power over there. The Border Patrol and the CDC doesn't have power in Africa. They only have jurisdiction in the U.S. So thank you. Your turn. You can mute. Oh, she mute me. No, you are. Oh, we're muted? No, muted.
So you're trying to solve a problem that is not here, but you're trying to get the benefits to the other country, right? Correct?
It's gonna be a comeback question.
The benefits come from the United States government trying to protect U.S. citizens on U.S. soil from people coming over to the United States that have this deadly disease where thousands and tens of thousands of people have died and reported cases of death in the United States.
Would it be better to solve where the problem started or stop it here?
Border Patrol and the CDC doesn't have power in Africa. That's the point. Because the only place where we have power in is here, so we basically can't go over there to go help it.
And why did Barack Obama send 4,000 troops to West Africa?
But that's not for Ebola, that's for peacekeeping. Peacekeeping?
So that was for Ebola.
No.
Why would they send troops over?
Your facts straight.
Why would we send troops over and it has nothing to do with that?
Are troops doctors?
We need medical doctors and stuff.
Like,
The troops went to Africa to fight the Ebola disease.
How are you gonna fight a disease with guns?
yes.
No comment.
Was there doctors going down there? Yeah.
The troops try to stop the Ebola disease from spreading.
Not at the border.
Not at the border, but at the source.
With what? With what are they gonna stop? With guns,
What do
helicopters?
they have?
Just
Buried the bodies in order for it to stop spreading.
So you're saying the troops?
What?
you do know that it spreads by body fluids, right?
Get your facts straight.
Hey, stupid.
Well, before you,
So apologize for that last comment.
Seriously, I'm sorry.
Apologize for no.
Where?
You should know your facts first.
Okay. Just apologize.
Okay, if we're talking about facts, then shouldn't you know your facts about people dying in the United States from Ebola? Shouldn't you also know that it is something that's real?
Person has died. You're acting like the whole human race has died.
Well, let me ask you a question. Let's say it was you on the operating table with Ebola. Wouldn't you think it's a big idea?
We're not trying to Ebola.
You just proved our point right.
it would not be.
Then you proved our point right because you just agreed to the fact that Ebola is in the United States. You just said that it's just one person. No, it's more than one case. But the whole time you were talking about how Ebola was a phony disease. Well, guess what? Since you just agreed to the fact that Ebola is here, that people have died, that you agreed to the fact that over 10,000 people have died in Africa, you agreed to the fact that the United States government has sent troops over to Africa to have contact through bodily fluids. Now our soldiers have the possibility of getting.
Oh, so now you admit to troops when you were laughing at us about talking about troops?
No, what I'm trying to say is you're advocating troops going over there. That the troops now have a chance for Ebola, this quote unquote phony disease, and all these other people coming over to the United States. What we are trying to say is Ebola is real. Thousands of people have died. American soldiers, just like you said, have gone over there and have contact with Ebola. They're coming back over here. People who are just from there have had contact with Ebola, and they're coming over here. Our job is to take the Border Patrol, to take the CDC, and stop the people coming over here at the border with quarantine. It's not hurting anyone's civil rights to save their life.
So you're saying that you're going along with our plan.
Yeah. Because in order to do that, you have to stop people from coming over to our country.
That means
That means
stop them at their border, not ours.
that means stopping them at their border, not ours.
No, we didn't say that. You said that. Our plan the entire time was to take the U.S. Border Patrol, which only has power in the U.S., take the CDC, which only has power in the U.S., and at our border, stopping people who come from these particular countries, testing them. If they have it, they go into quarantine. If they don't, they're allowed to come in. That's what we said the entire time.
Come on.
So you're saying that you're gonna stop people that have the disease at our border, not at theirs.
We're saying so.
We're saying stop them at their border because that gets 100%.
No, we're testing people in Africa and people from Africa who are trying to come over here, and then we're testing them, and if they have Ebola, they can't like come.
We'll ship it back over there.
No.
They go back.
That's not anything he said.
We'll quarantine them in
We're
the
going to prevent everyone from coming because that's the only way that can stop the disease,
If
We're
you're trying to
talking about-
prevent
according
everybody,
to you.
so what you're
No.
saying is that they don't have the rights to come over here if they don't have Ebola. So that's what you're trying to say.
That's what you just said.
That's your plan.
That's your plan, not ours.
What we're saying, we're trying to test people from Ebola countries. The whole Africa doesn't have Ebola. Only certain countries have Ebola. When they come to the U.S.,
Okay, here, let's break it down simple. Put a fence around their country.
No.
Problem solved. Mission accomplished.
Okay, what you're saying now is you're trying to tell us that we should put a fence around their country? Is that what you want?
Are you trying to solve the problem or not?
We will solve the problem because here's what it is. One step at a time. Step one, we have the Border Patrol and we have the Center for Disease Control working together. And step two, we have we flag anybody coming from those Ebola countries we mentioned: West Africa, Liberia, Sierra Leone, and Guinea. If we test them, step three, at the border, if they have it, they go into a mandatory quarantine. If they do not, they're allowed to come in if they're legally able to do so, like a student visa or whatever, vacation or whatever. So if they have it, we stop them. They go into quarantine. They can't infect anybody in the U.S. So that's how we stop the spread of Ebola into the U.S. We're not talking about soldiers going over there. We're not talking about putting a fence around someone's backyard.
Wouldn't it be better to test the people so they won't leave the country in the first place?
The same people.
hey, do you know that the Border Patrol does not have no jurisdiction in Africa? We can't do anything down there. We have to wait until they come to the U.S.
Are you worried about the Border Patrol or are you worried about Ebola?
I know.
Okay, you
right?
do know that we can't just do whatever we want in every country. You do know we have to get like rights over there too.
That has stopped US before. US before has intervened in thousands of wars and it was none of our business. So why is it when we want to do something in their country, like put around a fence, why are you objecting to that?
Because they asked for help.
How is it helping Ebola if you're letting the Ebola spread to other places?
We are not letting it spread. That's why we're trying to stop it. Like they're coming over here like on a plane. Once they get right here, what we're trying to do is try to quarantine and then send them back. Test them for 21 days.
We're doing it.
21 days.
You're saying you're trying.
Can you repeat that?
You're saying you're trying to stop the Ebola from spreading when our plan could stop it 100% from spreading.
All the other countries have blocked their borders from Ebola countries. The U.S. is the only country that hasn't done that.
Can you repeat that?
I'm sorry.
Okay, so every country already, like everywhere, has already closed their borders from Ebola. We're the only country that hasn't. That's why we're the ones trying to do something for our, not for them.
Boils down to this.
You cannot solve for everyone, but we can.
Okay, repeat your plan again. What is your plan?
Man, our plan is to make sure that they don't leave their country. They leave their country, they go to Mexico, they come into our border, man, to stop them at their country.
So what you're saying is our plan, or your plan, is to go over there and stop them using some sort of like force or economic means to coming into the U.S., right?
Yeah, our military's already there, so why not stop them from leaving?
Okay, cool. So if that's the case, then that means you completely give up the civil rights argument in half of your case, because you said at the very beginning it was all about civil rights. So how do you protect someone's civil rights? By shoving an M16 in their mouth and pulling the trigger?
Your plan is the one taking away civil rights from Americans for not us being able to leave our country if we stop everybody from coming in and everybody coming out from our country.
Who said anything about stopping American citizens coming in or coming out? We were just talking about stopping people from countries.
So if an American citizen goes to one of the Ebola countries and gets Ebola, they're allowed to come back because they are American?
No, what we said is they have to go get quarantined, but the border patrol.
But he is an American. He does have civil rights in America, right?
Yes, and how do you have civil rights?
So then he should be able to come back because he's American, even though he has Ebola.
Yes, and he does come back, and if he gets tested with Ebola, he'll be in quarantine like everybody else, because you can't have civil rights if you're dead.
So you're saying we should quarantine them in Africa and not here?
That's what y'all said.
You literally just said that he should have the right to come back.
Yeah, we're quarantining them over here in the U.S., not in Africa.
Yeah, I said he can come back. That's based off of your plan.
No, the entire plan was to have the Border Patrol and the CDC inspect people coming from these West African countries that have been proven to have Ebola, that we read all the cases for. Now, it makes no difference if you're blue with green flaming horns and you went over there and got Ebola, or if you were black, white, green, brown, or yellow. If you come back over to the U.S. and you're tested positive for Ebola, you're in the U.S. because you're in quarantine mandatory for at least for 21 days. Good job, Diego.
Sorry, guys, we're gonna have to go. I'll see you next week, and this is over. Goodbye.
It was fun. Have a good day.
You too.
Thank you. How are we coming out there? It's 7:15 in the morning, remember?
Yeah.